We are going to start with our objective, and usually Daniel's our objective reader, but since he's not here, I'm going to volunteer. All right, Marjorie.
I can write a paragraph to explain the problems and solutions in the text with the support of a graphic organizer and a word bank.
Very nice. So we know about paragraphs. We know they're groups of sentences that are all talking about the same thing. We know that you've been reading a text, Farmer Will Allen in the Growing Table, and there are some problems that he faces, and then he comes up with some solutions. And we're going to start thinking about that, and that's going to be the next paragraph that we write in our journals. So today we're going to do a little bit of planning for that. Okay? Yeah? Yay. All right. So yesterday you guys finished reading the text with Miss Kim, and then we talked about it in our group a little bit. Do you remember what kind of text it is? Angelina?
About a farmer.
Mm-hmm. It is about a farmer.
It is about a farmer who helps kids who just eat greasy food most of the time.
They eat greasy food, yeah. What's the category of the text? Like, wondering. It starts with a B.
Oh, wait, no.
Yeah, G? Do you want to ask Angie? Yeah.
Biography.
Ooh, yeah, biography. So it's a biography. Who can remember, what does that mean if we're reading a biography? Angie again?
The B-I-O stands for life. The B-I-O stands for life.
Oh, yeah, we talked about how B-I-O, means life. And so if you're reading a biography, what kind of story are you going to be reading, Angelina?
Like, you're going to read a story about, like, a life cycle. Like, he was born and then he was little to big.
Oh, okay, so, yeah, life cycle, I guess that's true. So a biography, right, is a story about a real person, a real person's life. Remember that? Yeah. And we talked about how Will Allen, this is a biography because we read the real story of his life. And we also learned yesterday, do you remember, we Googled to find out if he was still alive?
Yeah, he's 70 years old.
He's 71 years old. And you remember where he lives?
Maryland.
In Maryland. Isn't that interesting? So it's a real story about a real person. So is it fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction.
Nonfiction. Excellent. Okay. So I think you guys have a pretty good memory of the text because you just told me a little about it. So we're not going to go through it quite yet. We're not going to look through it right now. But I'm wondering, who can tell me what was the big problem that Will noticed that he wanted to fix? Angelina and Marjorie have a lot to say. Jamie, go ahead.
That he needed more people to help with the farm, so he tried finding kids, parents, and grandparents and teach them how to be a farmer so that they could help him with the farm.
That is true. That was a big problem that he faced. But why did he make the garden in the first place? You're ahead of me. Marjorie?
He made the garden because he wanted to help kids who just ate greasy food.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, he helped them by giving them fruits, vegetables, and other things that are healthy.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a problem. And the problem, like Marjorie just said, was that they didn't have very good quality food. Like they didn't have fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, right? So I'm going to write that on a red sentence strip because we're going to write problems on a red strip. So I'm going to say they did not have, healthy, I like that word, healthy food. And a capital letter at the beginning and a period at the end. Do you remember why?
Because a capital letter always has to be in the beginning of a sentence and a period at the end.
Excellent. Okay, so then what was the solution? They didn't have healthy food, so he decided, Angie.
To make a farm.
Yeah. So we'll say he made.
And then he started to get people to help him. And then one of the parts of the story he found the greenhouses.
Yeah, you're right. So here's our solution. He made a farm, right? So I'm going to put that over here under my solutions. Okay. Now I'm going to have you guys think about some more problems that he had after he started making his garden. He had other problems. You got some? Okay. So you're going to talk to your partner, and you're going to think about 2 problems that he had once he started building his garden. And we said that one of his character traits is that he's really creative and he's intelligent. So he thought of good ways to fix the problems, right? Or overcome the problems. So I want you to think about 2 problems that he had when he started making his garden, and then the solutions that he came up with for each of those problems. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So my partners are Marjorie and Ashley, Angelina and Jamie, and Angie and Andrea. You're going to get a check, right? Your discussion checklist. You're going to get a point if you listen to your partner, and that means that, are you looking at the ceiling?
No.
Are you looking away from them?
No.
You're looking at their face? Eye contact? You get a point if you share many details. You're just going to say like 2 words?
No.
Okay. You're going to get a point if you ask questions or make comments to your partner, right? You can support them or you can ask questions if you're not sure. This is how you get your points. All right. Are you guys ready?
Yes, I am ready.
You're ready. Okay. All right, go ahead.
He started doing the farm. He didn't have that much farmers, he tried finding farmers around the city and to help him be a farmer, and he tried finding kids, parents, grandparents, and he teach all of them how to be a farmer to help him with trying to grow up.
His biggest problem was that he currently saw that the kids were just eating not nutrition like good food. They were eating like nasty, too much animal. So and by feeling like in an abandoned place, one of the problems was when they did it, and then I think that
To help him,
the biggest problem was that
he just had to do it all by himself.
He built it,
Travel
so he
to
decided
many
to
other
build a farm,
places,
and
so
then
he can
like
make more food with people growing faster.
like he could like get the food and give it to like the kids.
Other problems that they were kids have not even tried vegetables. Anywhere else besides Hawaii? Was going to his hometown and started back east. No, but it went to I agree with you. The words could not be But he went to Hawaii. Hawaii had no why.
The other problem is that when you
All right, bring it back in 3, 2, 1. Eyeballs. Yes, excellent. Okay, you guys had a really good discussion. I heard a lot of problems and solutions that you talked about. Did you get to talk about 2 with your partner or more? If you had more, that's even better. You had 2? Okay. So you're going to work with your partner now, and you're going to pick out of all the problems and solutions that you just talked about, you're going to pick one that you and your partner want to write on your strip. So one of you is going to write down the problem on the red. and then the other of you will write the solution to that problem. So out of all the ones that you talked about, you have to decide together which problem and solution you want to write on your strip. How many problems are you writing? One. Which one's it going to go on? The red. Mm-hmm. Okay. Does that make sense what to do?
Yes.
Are you going to just write like one word?
No.
Whole sentences, right?
Yep.
So that means that the beginning should be, what should you have at the beginning?
A period.
At the beginning.
A capital letter.
And then at the end?
A period.
Oh, let's see if the yellow's probably going to show up. All right. I don't think the yellow is going to show up. Do you want to pick a different one?
So you write he needed more farmers and I'm going to write he went
If it doesn't, you can take a different one. I like it. Yep. All right. I'm going to give you about 1 minute to write your problem and solutions, and make sure you talk to your partner so that you write the solution that matches the problem you
So we're
picked.
going to put like a short sentence about the problem.
A short sentence about the problem.
The kids didn't have a space. He didn't have a space to play the kids, and he found the
Make sure it comes in the story.
Yes, Hawaii.
They didn't have really different places. But they didn't finish the story because it was in Hawaii.
It's just exactly he traveled to. You want to add more details?
Add more details.
Yes, we chose Hawaii. Love you.
Yeah, that's an A in the middle.
Okay.
Anyway, Hawaii is a nameless place, right?
Yeah, it's a plane. It's a beautiful plane. Period.
You can write your solution unless you're writing a problem. Can you write your solution unless you're writing a problem?
Yes. But period. Normal bread, so we went to Hawaii to get we needed more farmers. So we went to Hawaii.
It's okay.
For the blackbird.
Just scratch it out or yeah, right over it. After you finish, you can close your marker and then you can put these up in the pocket chart underneath my problem. Be careful when you walk by there, okay?
Hawaii.
Right about there. Or on top. It's okay. You think it's ready? All right. You can put it up in the pocket chart when Andrea's ready. Okay. Put it. Make sure that Angie and Andrea put them across from each other. Okay. We're missing a solution. Miss James. Okay. All right. So while Jamie's finishing, do you guys want to share your problem and solution? All right, Marjorie. What'd you guys write? You tell me what you wrote. Wait, who wrote the problem?
I wrote the problem.
Okay.
I wrote the solution.
What's the problem, Marjorie?
He didn't have enough farmers, so he went to go travel to other places to go find more people to plant food.
Okay. So he traveled around. He tried to get more people to help him.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Angelina and I'll come back to you guys when we finish first. Angie and Andrea, what was the problem that you wrote?
He didn't have more space to grow more plants.
Oh yeah, he ran out of space. So
He found a greenhouse.
he found a greenhouse. Yeah, and then he needed even more space. So do you remember what he did after that?
He hanged his plants.
Yeah, he started hanging them high on shelves and making them really tall, so he got even more space that way. Okay, and Angelina, what was the problem that you guys talked about?
The problem was that he needed more farmers.
Mm-hmm.
So he looked around the city to find kids' parents and grandparents and teach them
these are some good ones. I think that 2 of those up there, you guys thought of a similar problem, right?
Yes.
And so I'm going to give you a couple more that I thought of just so you have more ideas too. So I was thinking that one problem that he had was when he got the land, the soil was really bad, right? It was really polluted. That was a problem. And then what was the solution that he came up with?
That's something Margaret told me. Yes.
Yeah?
We talked about the worms.
You guys talked about it a lot. So what was the solution when he had bad
The
soil?
solution was that he grabbed worms and the worms ate the trash, they ate the ocean.
Yeah, the worms help to make the soil better. Yeah, so that's something else we could have written. And then something else, what happened to the worms? What was the big problem with the worms? Jamie.
The worms were dying because they kept eating spicy food and like stuff like other food that aren't for worms. So Will started giving them healthy food for that way they could not die.
Yeah, they were all eating, the worms were eating like chili peppers, and they were not doing well, right? They started to die, and so then the solution, right? Andrea, were you going to tell us the solution?
No, I was trying to ask the problem.
Oh, you have another one? I'm going to come back with you, okay?
It was supposed to be the same.
It was the same one. So they were dying, so then they had to change the food, and they gave them food that would help them survive, so that's another solution. And then another problem I was thinking is that he really wanted to spread the message, right? He was like, how do I help people all over the world to grow better foods, right? And the solution, do you remember what he did at the end, Andrea?
I remember. Actually, I don't remember anymore. I need help.
Need help? Can you ask someone to help you?
I don't know. I'll just say Angeline because she's the only one that raised her hand.
The solution.
What is the solution? Oh, no.
Okay, the solution was that he needed more people.
Wait, he needed more people? Is that a solution or is that a problem?
That's a problem.
I think he ran around people.
Yeah. Do you remember the last page of the story? It was like he traveled all over the place. He went to maybe Hawaii. He went all over the world. He went to Belgium. He went to London. And you remember he even packed his worms with him. Remember how we talked about maybe people were sitting on the airplane beside him and he had a bucket of worms?
That would have been cute.
Yeah. So that was another solution. He was like, I want to help more people. How do I help more people? And then he thought about traveling around to share his message and tell people how to compost. All right. So we've got some problems and we have some solutions. The next thing we're going to do is glue our prompt into our journal just like we usually do. So I'm going to give you your prompts. We're going to open our journal to a new spread, right? The spread is 2 pages side by side that are empty. Oh, can you get those ones, Marjorie?
Okay.
All right, so we're opening our journal to a new spread. Angelina, and Marjorie, Ashley, and Meredith. Okay,
I don't even know.
new spread. Can you open your spread? The first pages that you have side by side that are blank. Okay. All right. Put your hand on the left page, the top of the left page. Yes, Angie's there. Is that the left page? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Is that the left page? Okay, over here. So you're going to glue it just like we normally do on the top of your left page, just like that. Okay? And while you glue it, I'm going to read it and we'll talk about it. Make sure, I think that I can have all of my glues back in 10 seconds. Do you think?
I think we need more than 10 seconds.
You never need more than 10 seconds, okay? Make sure you roll your glue back down at the end so it doesn't get smushed in the lid. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, All right, 1. Awesome. I knew you could do it. Okay, so your prompt says, Will noticed that the people in his community did not have fresh vegetables, so he decided to create a garden. Remember, that was a big problem. And his solution was to start the garden. As he started to make the garden, he encountered more problems. You encounter something, it means you kind of run into it. He ran into more problems. Write a paragraph to describe the new problems that Will faced and how he solved them. The new problems. Do you guys understand the question?
Yes, I understand the question.
Can you explain?
The question is that we have to write a paragraph about, then we have to describe the new problems that Will faced and how he solved them. Oh, I get it now.
You got it?
I think we have to write a paragraph like about he described the new problems that he faced and how he solved them. So it's kind of like remember the last problems that he had where he saw that the worms were dying? Then he faced it and he decided to give them fresh food.
Yeah, so that's one example that you can write about. You guys came up with some that we can use, so you can use some of the ones that we put in the pocket chart for your paragraph that you're going to write. You're going to think about some problems and how he solved them. So that's what you're going to do for your paragraph. We know that when we write paragraphs, what do we need first?
Capital letter.
Well, we do need a capital letter at the beginning of our sentences. A period at the beginning? You need to indent at the beginning, that's true. But what's our first sentence going to be? Wait, did you say
introduction?
We need our introduction sentence first, so I'm going to put this. You don't have to write yet. So the first sentence that you're going to write is your introduction, because we have to tell the reader what they're going to be reading about. And then what do you think that we should do next for our next sentence, for our second sentence?
Marjorie? I'm going to do something alike.
Compare and contrast.
You're thinking about compare and contrast, which is what we did last time.
I think we have to do a new problem that we'll face.
So then maybe we'll say problem number 1. You pick a problem that he faced. And then I'm going to write job 1. Okay? And then are you just going to talk about only the problems?
And the solution.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about problem 1. Then we're going to talk about solution 1. How many problems do you think we should talk about? 10?
Yes.
Wow, that's going to be a long paragraph. Probably, usually like 3. Can we say 3 for this paragraph?
Yeah.
Okay. So problem 1 and then solution and then what? Problem number?
Problem 2. Solution
2. Okay. Solution 2. And then what?
Problem 3. Oh yeah.
We said 3, right?
Or
Problem 3 and solution 3. And then Angie, you're excited about, what do we call that last sentence? Wait, introductions are here. You said it.
Conclusion.
Yeah, then we're going to have a conclusion, right? So this is going to be a really nice, this is like a 4th or 5th grade paragraph because you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sentences. So you're going to have 1 sentence for each of these, right? Yeah. You can write 8. You guys are really good writers, so I know that you can. Yes, if you need to add more details, that would be great. So today we are going to not start writing our paragraph, but we're going to think about some vocabulary that we might want to use when we start writing. So do you want to keep using your marker?
Yeah.
Okay. So on this side right here, we're going to write some vocabulary words that we might be able to use. Okay. Can you guys help me think of some words so we're not just talking like problem solution, problem solution, problem solution? Can we make our vocabulary more interesting and think of some synonyms? Other words that might mean problem. going to write problem just to get us started. But I don't want you to say problem like every single time in every sentence. What about, do you guys know the word dilemma?
Yeah.
I heard it before, but I don't know what it means.
It means problem. So he had a problem. He had a dilemma. You got one, Angelina?
So much.
Problem, dilemma is kind of like, except for like problem if it's problem if it's like if it was a kindergarten word, dilemma, it would be like a 5th grade word. So it's gonna be like a strong word.
Yeah.
Like you're saying just problem.
Yeah, it's a really strong word, dilemma. What about any others that you can think of?
Is there another word for solution?
We'll do solution in just a second. Wait.
Issue.
Issue! Ooh, I was hoping someone would think of that one. He had an issue. He had a problem. He had a dilemma. He had an issue. Any others?
It sounds like tissue.
It does. If I put a T on the front, it would be tissue. Maybe that would help you remember.
I actually said issue.
Issue, tissue. Okay, do you want to put those words down on your paper so that you can remember? We can maybe use them under your prompt, on that side under your prompt.
Do you also make problem?
Yes.
Yeah, put problem, dilemma, and issue. And if you have more ideas, you can put them on your list also with problem words.
Yeah, I know. Makes it hard.
Do you need that space? Do you need a period at the end of that?
I just wanted to come.
Wait, but can we just put a period wherever we want to?
Like at the first sentence.
All right. Okay, the last thing we're going to do today is think of some more words besides solution. So we've got solution. I'm going to do these ones in a different color because I did problem in pink, kind of like the red over here. So I'm going to do the solution in green. Yeah. If you want to switch markers with someone beside you, you can switch if you want to do yours in a different color too, but you don't have to. Solution. Okay, can we think of other words besides solution?
I have a question.
And you got cause and effect. This one, even though the problem is kind of a cause and then the solution is an effect. I guess we could put those. Yeah? So maybe
My question
you put effect
is,
in green. Okay, what's your question, Marjorie?
is there any other type of word, like a 5th grade word or higher than 3rd grade word, that's the same, that means solution, but it's in a different word?
So you're thinking you want some synonyms? Some synonyms? Okay. Well, that's what I'm asking you. I have a couple in my brain. Do you have any that you can think of? No? How about the word resolve? Have you heard that word before?
Yeah, no.
Resolve? If you have a problem, you can resolve it. That means you can fix it.
I put solution and issue together.
Do we put effect too?
If you want to, Ashley suggested that one. If you don't think you'll use it, you don't have to put it. But if you think maybe you'll use it. And then, Marjorie, I was just thinking too, because you wanted a bigger word than solution. I'm going to give you one more that's almost the same as solution, but has something at the beginning. Do you know this word?
Resolution?
Wait, what's that word?
Solution.
So what's that word?
Solution.
A resolution
Resolution.
is the same as a solution. So if you're looking for a bigger word than solution, you could try resolution. They have the same meaning.
I can't see.
others that we could add to that list? Revolution sounds like resolution, but it has a different meaning. Revolution is like to turn. Okay. All right. So I think we're going to stop for today. We're out of time. When we come back next time, we're going to think of some sentence starters to help us, like how we can be like, one problem is, blah, 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 but we're going to think of some challenging sentence starters to help you get started with all of these sentences. Then we're going to write our paragraph of 8 sentences. And we'll see how you start. We'll see how you do. Do you have any questions? All right, so let's look at our objective. We didn't write the paragraph, but are we planning for our paragraph?
Yes.
To explain problems and solutions?
Yes.
Do we have a graphic organizer?
Yes.
We're kind of working on it, yeah. Do we have a word bank?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, we're all finished. Can you guys please close your journals and put your markers back? Thank you for your hard work.